The Falcons go down 48-17 in a blaze of glory against the Saints there on Sunday afternoon. With the game decided late in the fourth quarter, we have our pivot point in this game. Game decided late fourth quarter. New Orleans added a little bonus score as Jamal Williams carried the ball in. He punched it in on a short touchdown run with just over a minute left to extend the lead. So instead of 41-17, it was 48-17. That would be the final. Now you say, okay, whatever, who cares? Well, you know who does care? The guy that was coaching the Atlanta football team. He had a problem with this. How do we know he had a problem with this? Because he was on the warpath after the game. It did not sit well with Atlanta's coach at the time, Arthur Smith, who was enraged, absolutely enraged with the Saints running up the score, and hell hath no fury like an NFL coach scorned by another NFL coach. He was very upset with Dennis Allen, who somehow still is coaching the New Orleans football team. And immediately after the game, you know that Fugazi coach's handshake, which is just a waste of time? Well, it wasn't a waste of time here because Arthur Smith gave Dennis Allen a piece of his mind, and it was a dagger. It was a dagger. All right, so let us discuss the question. Was this Arthur Smith midfield post-game meltdown significant? So I've got National Pork Board, Atomic Elbow, and Torch Roll. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make fireworks, because there were fireworks between Arthur Smith and Dennis Allen. It was pyrotechnics in the air everywhere. So, first of all, this was more entertaining than the game. When the coach's handshake is more entertaining than the game, you know something is not right. That was more enjoyable than watching the Atlanta football team play. And really, that's the only meaning, per se. But there was, I will argue, there was a eureka moment. There was a eureka moment. The light bulb went off. Ta-da! And Arthur Smith had a revelation. He opened the book of Revelations, and he realized, wait a minute, what's going on the field is not kosher. It's like an old ad slogan from the National Pork Board. It's the other white meat. Because Arthur Smith, you see, was porked. He was absolutely porked in this particular game. Turn out the lights, the party's over. Yeah, he was fired hours after the game. Adam Schefter had the story there that the Falcons had said bye-bye to Arthur Smith, as he's like owner Arthur Blank deciding to make the change. Good news is I think Arthur Smith will be okay. He can go back to FedEx, and he can help people out there because his dad started the company. Now, in terms of the sportsmanship of it all, last I checked, this is not Pop Warner. It's not high school football. And although the Falcons often look like a high school football team, but in a perfect world, a late touchdown would not have happened. But I have no issue with it. The only thing that stands out to me is Dennis Allen claiming he coached the team not to score a touchdown, and they still scored a touchdown. Now that is interesting. And that's the part of the story to me that's got a little life to it. It's got a little razzle-dazzle to it. So I'd like to address that. Rather than, well, you're losing by 24 points instead of 31 points, whoop-de-damn-do. And the argument is always if you coach better and you play better, you don't lose by 31 points. You should never lose by 31 points if you do a good job. No one ever loses by that many points. Every game will be a 1 or 2 score game if you just play hard, no matter how untalented you are. All right, now, secondly, I mentioned the Dennis Allen thing. He had apologized to then Falcons coach Arthur Smith after the game for the late touchdown and claimed that he told the team not to do it. Well, Jameis Winston, there's great audio. Of course, we don't have it, but there's great audio of Jameis Winston here. And he was playing quarterback at the time for the Saints, and he added kerosene. Jameis Winston added kerosene to the story. Now, if you didn't hear it, it's been bouncing around for hours, and I, of course, saw it, but here's the deal. So Winston, in this clip, it's about a 3-minute clip, he apologized to Dennis Allen because the play call was victory, which means the victory formation. You take a knee and all that. But famous Jameis also explained, and this is the part which is outstanding. So Winston, he put down the crab legs, and he explained that Dennis Allen, he wanted Allen to know it was a, quote, team decision, close quote, to go for the Saints touchdown. It was a team decision. He said, quote, we decided as a team to do it. He brashly told the media there that in the huddle, the Saints decided, we want Williams to score a touchdown, so we're going to do it. And what that is, though, that is next level. But how does Jameis Winston's statement change the story? It's like, yeah, Dennis Allen told us not to do it, but we did it anyway because it was a team decision. So this is an atomic elbow to Dennis Allen. Now, Dennis Allen should be fired anyway because Dennis Allen. I mean, come on. But you think about this. The locker room doesn't respect the coach. The people in that huddle don't respect the coach. You got a backup quarterback, and they're like, well, I know they want us to do the victory formation, but we want to score a touchdown. If what Winston is saying is true and what Dennis Allen is saying is true, you've got a disconnect. And if I own the Saints, I fired Dennis Allen. And then I wonder why I even hired Dennis Allen in the first place. He gets excommunicated. He's a disposable napkin. You use a napkin, you wipe your face, and you throw it away. All right, now, final thought. Headline from Nashville. The Jaguars, who I had high hopes for. Boy, they had high hopes, too. Of course, they should have realized their playoff win, their signature win last year, was against the Chargers and Brandon Staley. But anyway, Jacksonville thought they were good. I thought they were going to be good, too. They got curb stomped in a win-and-you're-in game against the Tennessee football team and eliminated from the postseason. Now, that opens the door for the Steelers to get in. They did. They played their game on Saturday, and it opened the door for the Bills to get in. They played Sunday night and barely got by the Dolphins. But don't bury the lead, my man. All right, we're not going to bury the lead. The better story is in the losing locker room. What does this particular loss, what does this loss mean for Trevor Lawrence, his career, and also for Coach Doug Peterson? What does it mean? So this was we'll start with the quarterback, Trevor Lawrence. This was a torch roll is what this was, right? As in John Tortorella, the great hockey coach, as Trevor Lawrence sucked from head to toe. And he also sucked at a time you cannot suck, which is late in the game. He got outplayed by Ryan Tannehill. Let that sink in. Ryan Tannehill in his final game for the Tennessee football team outplayed Trevor Lawrence.
We sucked, and we sucked at a time that you can't suck.
Now, Trevor had the ball twice, late fourth quarter, down by a touchdown. And then he played a lullaby and went to bed. Didn't do anything. Coming out of Clemson, Trevor Lawrence was a generational quarterback. And in the NFL, he has lived up to the name of the team that cuts him a check. He is just a Jag. That's it. He's just a guy, just a Jag, true Jag. And the magic that he had at Clemson for Dabo Swinney has not materialized in the NFL. And I don't even count the win over the Chargers because he didn't play that well. Trevor Lawrence did not play that well in that game, which is the signature moment of his career and was the launching pad, going to take him up, and away. Yeah, not so much. Not so much. Now, Jacksonville also underachieved. When you take a couple of steps back, and we're going to talk more as we go through the overnight about different coaches who are on the hot seat and who's out of work and who could be out of work. How come I don't hear Doug Peterson's name? Why do I not hear Doug Peterson as a guy that should be fired? If you base him on the body of his work this season, and you look at the talent level on Jacksonville, the moves they made to improve the roster, you look at the results on the field, they had problems from the beginning of the year. And Doug Peterson, who, what do I know? I just did the overnight show. I believe he is paid to fix those problems. Could not fix said problems with the Jacksonville football team. Trevor Lawrence put a lot of empty calories up, a lot of empty calories on the stat sheet. And the defense was abysmal all season. But you won't hear a lot of noise about Doug Peterson. You know why? Because the media loves him. Doug Peterson's just a buddy-buddy with the media. The football writers love him. So they're not going to criticize Doug Peterson. No, come on. He's the adult in the room. Yeah, the adult who can't coach his way out of a wet paper bag, but that's a different conversation.